My name is Kiana Hatfield. I'm the volunteer coordinator here with PMD Alliance, and welcome to September's Support Group Leader Roundtable. Before we get started today, we just have a few housekeeping things that we'd like to go over as you all sit into this meeting. So we ask everyone that as you're on the call while our presenter is speaking, that you just mute your mic when necessary, listen deeply and intently, be patient with technology. We've lived in the world of Zoom for quite a while, and we know that technical difficulties happen, so just be patient. And if there's anything that we can help you with on the back end, just shoot us a message here in the chat and we'll try and help you as best we can. Exchange insights and build relationships. You'll have an opportunity later today to tune into some breakout rooms and talk about more of the topic that's being presented, and then just continue to move with purpose. And so for today's chat storm, we have a funny and a random one today. So what is something that is always in your fridge? So go ahead and start tuning into the chat there and just tell us something that you like to keep in your fridge. Well, thank you for everyone to starting to tune into the chat there. Let's see here. We will go ahead and get started with the presentation. So today we were talking about partnered couples and intimacy, and we have Judith Sachs here today to talk to you all, and a few friends, Dr. Kelly Rees and Robert Cochran here, joining her in this presentation. And so Judith, I will turn it over to you so you can share a little bit more about yourself.
So, hello to all of you. Some of you may know me. I'm a certified dance for PD teacher in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, and a certified matter of balance teacher. And my interest has always been movement and Parkinson's. But one of the ways we move is through our heart and how we relate to our partner. And this year, I'm very excited to be working on this very interesting new project. We are supported by a grant from the Parkinson Foundation and from Penn Medicine's Parkinson's Disease and Movement Disorder Center here in Philadelphia. And I have partnered with Dr. Kelly Rees, who I'm going to hand this over to for a moment, and with Robert Cochran. Kelly is a sex therapist in Portland, Oregon. And Robert is the director and founder of Yes and Exercise. Many of you know him very, very well from the really exciting programs that he runs. So what we've decided to do today, we're going to give you kind of a palate cleanser. Not a whole deal about intimacy, but maybe some new ideas about what you and your partner might think about when you're not thinking about Parkinson's disease. So before I show any slides or the video of our model couple, I'm going to hand this over first to Kelly to introduce herself, and then she will hand it over to Robert to introduce himself.
As Judith said, I'm in Portland, Oregon, and I'm a sex therapist, and I'm working with Judith in this very exciting program to offer some enrichment to couples and singles who have Parkinson's, who want to talk about their relational health and intimacy, and moving beyond a couple who has Parkinson's disease and back into couples and people who want to relate to other people. And it's my great pleasure to do this with Judith and to be working with Robert Cochran also. Super fun. So we've got a little video clip of us doing some role play that fits very nicely in with the program. That's it for me today.
Well, and I'll jump in to say thank you, Judith, and thank you, Kelly. It's wonderful to be working with both of you. This is an extension very much of the Yes and Exercise program, I feel, in that way too, because this is storytelling. The stories of intimacy are not well told, not just in Parkinson's, but generally in society. And interestingly, one of my students, Matthew Moore, wrote extremely wonderfully, intimately about this in his screenplay, What I Didn't Say, the adaptation of his play. So to get to further this work and to play a person with Parkinson's, as my father has, as many of my friends and people in my programs have, is an honor. And I really appreciate Kelly's beautiful dialogue that she's put forward. And she's a fantastic partner to work with as well. I could say as a longtime actor, you need someone who's going to be honest. And Kelly is beautifully, brutally honest about what we're talking about, gets right to the point. And it's a pleasure to have this video to share today, and I look forward to more of what we'll be sharing in the future.
That's terrific. Thank you both. So I'm going to share some slides with you. Some of the imagery may not be what you're used to seeing, but I want you to just let it go and enjoy what we're about to share with you. So I think many of you are going to know a lot of what's at the beginning of this presentation because your partners experience all of what's going on here, but you also experience what's going on here. If your partner has non-motor
Judith, you're
symptoms-
frozen.
Oh dear.
You're back.
What? I'm back? I may have to move. Am I?
You're okay right now, Judith. You're good.
Okay.
You're
Anyway, I'm sorry.
okay. You were frozen. You're back. I don't know where you are right now.
Okay. Please do stop me, and I will move my entire setup if this is not working. So, at any rate, we have come to this program because we feel that, as the research says, Parkinson's disease can be an intruder in the relationship. And the way that couples, especially long married couples, have been relating to each other over time certainly changes in the face of a major medical condition. And we want to do something about that. So this is sort of the background. I have been teaching a couples program that has to do with movement for the last 8 years. It's called Close Contact for Couples. Maybe some of you have actually been in it. And it was basically getting couples to maybe relate to each other as ballroom dancers do. But we want to move beyond the bodies because relationships have a lot more to do with how people react as couples, not just as person with Parkinson's as care partners. So this is actually a dedicated care partner program, and we feel you're going to be the leaders in doing whatever we are giving you these ideas for. We also know if you are a young onset or newly diagnosed couple, that will make an enormous difference in your intimate life. So we want to be giving a lot of input for that. I just want to move on more quickly, but what we want to do here is give you a lot of joy. And that isn't something that usually comes up in discussions about Parkinson's, but we think it should. And we, rather than care partnership, we want to think about partnership. We also know that when you're going to a doctor or a physical therapist, or even your social worker or your pastor, that there may not be any discussion about your relationship and the intimacy that you used to share and maybe has started to get frayed. And so in this program, and I'm going to tell you how you can participate in it. In this program, we're also giving you a whole set of directions and even verbiage as to how to talk to your care team, because you have so little time in any appointment to get through the Parkinson's part of it, we want you to be preparing to be an advocate for intimacy. And those are the great pieces we're going to give you. We have created a card deck, and after I go through the slides, I'm going to actually show you some of the cards. Everybody who registers for the program, every couple gets one of these, and they are hints and suggestions and prompts for ways that you can tell one another what you're feeling, show one another what you're feeling, and touch in ways that have nothing to do with functional touch, which may also obviously be part of your day. But we want to get into what could be intimate touch and kind touch and ruffling somebody's hair or stroking their cheek. We give you a lot of instructions, but as Robert said, it's all about storytelling and it is about improvisation. We want you to be brave enough to just start talking to each other. So in this card deck, we have a variety of different things. Here are some of them. What gives you pleasure? What do you need to tell me? What have you been afraid to tell me? And then also things that are more direct or directive, like, can I kiss you? Or where would you like me to touch you? So I'm hoping this is going to play. Oh, I don't know that it is. Ugh. Let me see. Let me get out of it. And I'm going to see if I can share it from my email. I don't know whether that's going to be possible, but let's do that.
I could also put the link in chat if you want. It would take us outside of the Zoom, but just so you know.
Okay. Wait a minute. Good. Sorry for this. No. Sorry. Could you put the link in the chat? I'm not.
Will do, absolutely. So there it is. It's a Vimeo link, and you can just, it'll pop you to your own screen. It's a little less than 3 minutes. I figure if everybody goes ahead and watches that and just comes back, and then we'll do that.
No,
That sound okay?
I just did it. So let me see if I can play it to you.
Don't go away. Go through Judith.
Hey, can I talk to you about something?
You never asked me that unless it's serious. Is it serious?
Well, yeah, it is to me. It's about cuddling.
Again? I thought we talked about cuddling like a month ago.
We did, and you hugged me a few times for a couple of days, and now we're back to polite distance. I miss you.
We see each other all the time. We can't get away from each other.
Oh, I miss touching you.
You're always touching me. You help me get dressed. You help me get out of the shower. You're just.
I mean, I miss being intimate with you. I miss casual cuddling. I miss serious cuddling. Come on, can we please talk about this?
I have a hard time believing you want to touch me. I hate what's happening to my body. Okay, I don't want to touch me. I get so self-conscious if my arm is around you and I relax and start shaking. I hate that.
Well, I don't hate that. I miss you. And it's not just about you, you know.
Sorry. Yeah, you must be so disappointed.
I'm frustrated. I found the name of a sex therapist for us to see.
What? Why? I'm not to a sex therapist. That's too personal. I'm going to say, I already feel bad enough about this. I don't want to go exposing our bedroom life to a complete stranger.
What bedroom life? Besides, I've already spoken with her. She's nice. Sure, she asks some uncomfortable questions, but she wants to help us.
I guess I'll swallow my pride.
Thank you. You know, when you're affectionate with me, it really fills my cup, and my cup is filling regularly. Maybe we can find a way to make it okay for us to be more intimate.
Honestly, I miss it too. It just brings up so many feelings.
I know. Thanks.
So, yes, I think that is one of the most honest and lovely portrayals of what can happen between couples. And our desire is to model different situations that two people might have. It may not be exactly what you're going through, but it may give you just the basis of how you might start talking to each other differently about subjects that may have been put in the closet for a very long time since the Parkinson's diagnosis. So that is, I don't think I'm going to go back to the slides, but instead what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about this program. Our program is 4 weeks long, and it's on Zoom. And the nice thing about it is you could be anywhere in the country, and you can be in your own home, and you can tune in just as you are here. The other thing about it is that you have one session all by yourself as a couple with Kelly to talk about whatever you really want to talk about that you might not wish to share with the group. And so that's how we've structured how much time we think is appropriate for this. And everybody gets a deck of these cards. They come in a cute little box and with a logo on it. And again, the cards, 25 cards, tell you a little bit about, here's an idea for talking to each other, for showing each other, for touching each other. You also get the what to say with your care team, depending on what you're interested in. It's not all about sexuality. It is about relationships. And we think that for care partners to be the advocates for this in the relationship is kind of the way, a jump off point for the two of you. We also know that between couples, especially when one person has been diagnosed with Parkinson's, the other has not, there may be a disparate desire. There may be divergent amounts of desire between the couple. And we really want to deal with that in a very rigorous but easy way. I don't know if those two words usually go together, but they can. So that if one of you is really interested in getting back to a much more intimate life, and the other is going through depression or apathy and can't even think, as Robert's character said, I don't even like to touch myself. I think that's a very telling and opening up the conversation kind of idea. So you will be able to register for this program. We are actually starting, we have our first group. And the other thing I wanted to mention, because I think she is here today, is that Karen Patterson, who has been one of Robert's right-hand people in the Yes and Exercise program, is also going to be in these videos about please talk to your care team. And she will be talking in that capacity to Kelly. I think that's probably all I'm going to say, except that in the chat, I am going to put how to sign up. Oops. So our first group begins October the 3rd, and we will not be doing the second group because of holidays until January. So you have plenty of time to think about this and to talk to your partner about this. But as soon as you want to sign up, please sign up. We want everybody to have an opportunity to be in this program. Okay, I'm going to hand it back to Kiana, I think.
Yes, thank you, Judith. So we are going to get ready to move into breakout rooms. So you all can discuss amongst yourselves more about Judith's presentation and how you can take back this conversation to your groups. Let's see here. And Judith, did you want to add maybe any questions to the discussion? We do have a few questions already prepared, but I don't know if you'd like to add any.
Well, I mean, I would say number one is how to start talking about non-PD subjects and to talking about one another and your relationship, and how to talk about what's different about touch. So Robert's character talked about, you help me out of the shower, you help me get dressed. That's functional touch. So we want to talk about the difference between functional and relational touch, and this business of what you always were doing, holding hands under the table when no one could see.
Well, let's see here, just a moment here. Calissa, are we ready to send folks into breakout rooms, or do we need a moment? Okay. All right. Well, Calissa is finishing typing those questions out in the chat. As you prepare to go into your breakout rooms, we will send a broadcast that'll go across the top of your screen to just remind you of your time and how much time you'll have in these breakout rooms and when you'll be coming back. Before you get ready to go into those rooms, if you can just make note of some of the questions that Judith just mentioned, so you can gear up for those conversations. Let's see here. And be sure when you go into your groups to designate a note taker, because we'll come back at the end and we'll discuss what you all shared in your groups.
And Myra just asked, it may be interesting for people to know, how many couples do we expect in each of our series? I believe we said from 5 to 7 couples, so that it will not be overcrowded and everybody will have a lot of attention. Okay. But the privates with Kelly are private. Nobody else but the two of you.
Thank you for clarifying that. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. All right, so the breakout rooms are now open, so everyone can start joining. And let's see here. All right. Okay. And you should have the option to join, but if anyone's having trouble joining, let us know and we can manually assign you and put you in the room. Let's see. Patty, Melissa, are you having any issues getting into your group? Or here, let's see. The option should come across your screen to join. If not, there should be maybe an option for breakout rooms, and you along either the bottom panel of your screen, and it should give you that option. Let's see. And here, let's go ahead and
And then you just wait the 60 seconds.
Yeah. And yep. Welcome back. All right. And we were just waiting for folks to start trickling back in. Hopefully you all had some great discussions in your breakout rooms. Okay, I see Dr. Reeves nodding yes, and Karen, great. All right, so let's see. Should just be a little less than 20 seconds left for everyone to start trickling back in here. All right. Looks like, okay, I think mostly everyone is back. So maybe we had a couple that dropped off. Oh, no, sorry. All right. So, well, welcome back, everyone. I already saw a few nods that conversations went well. So um, now we'd just like to hear back from you. So in the beginning, before we sent you all into breakout rooms, we asked that you designate a note taker. So maybe it'd be best that the person that took notes was the one to share back, since they got down all the great topics that were discussed there. So we had about, close, I think, do we have 3 breakout rooms in total? Yes. So for room 1, we'll go ahead and hear from you all. And in that group, we had Melissa, Patty, Randy, Ispas, and Judith. So whoever would like to share from group 1, feel free to go ahead and unmute yourself.
We didn't know about the note-taking business.
That's
I mean,
okay.
I've been talking an awful lot, and I would just like to say maybe Patty or Randy, would you like to say something?
And Patty, you are
Patty, you're
on.
gonna have to unmute.
Am I there now?
Yeah.
I just want to thank you, Judith. I really enjoyed, listening to you and being a part of this. And thank you very much.
Great, but do you want to say what we talked about?
Oh, of course. I haven't been taking notes. It seems like we covered a lot of ground, how important it is to be open to one another and for one another and be open to change.
And it hurts too when you have.
What's that?
It hurts sometimes when you have to make a change.
Yeah,
It all
just
depends what you want.
be open and to anything fresh and new because we will more than likely benefit from it a great deal. I'll leave it at that, if I may.
And we were very happy that Neil was there because
Thank-
Neil mentioned that men may not want to talk about sex in a situation where there are either their own partner and a lot of other people, or because they do separate care partner and PD groups during the week, that the men will talk about mostly anything, but they have not yet broached the subject of sexuality. So
Right.
Neil has been charged with doing that.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, Patty and Judith. So we are going to go ahead and move forward to room 2. And in that room, we had Debbie, Dr. Rees, Greg, Karen, and Myra. And Karen, I saw that you had your notebook up, so I'm assuming that you were the note taker for that group. So you have the floor. And yes, if you'll just unmute.
There I am. Okay. We got together and all of us are really happy and we understand the importance of these very difficult topics and we came from very different parts of the sphere. We've got a little bit of everything in that group and just the difference between a couple that is totally together versus couples that aren't and how different across the board, but at the same time we were able to share some similarities too. And we talked about the cognitive decline and how hard that and more difficult that can make some of these. But again, Greg's awesome awesome. He's always been very forthright with what he brought, to the group, and it was just great. But the hardest thing too in this is negative self-image, whether we put it on ourselves or it's put on us, and the importance of communication to break free of that. And we talked about alternate forms of intimacy, and how we can broach the subjects differently with our partner, and the importance of communication and timing. You can't get what you want unless you say it, and it's not always easy to say it. And we even talked a little bit about talking to each other's people, because we did have a couple people here that have known each other for a minute or two, so that made it really nice. And we talked about the cards. Everybody's excited about the cards, and the potential of fun, and being open-minded through this deck of cards that you guys are providing for the people who sign up. So a lot of excitement, a lot of great sharing, and yeah, it was a really good group.
Thank you so much for sharing, Karen, on behalf of group 2. And let's see, our final group here. We had Dave, Karen, Robert, and Katie. And so who will be sharing from group 3? And oh, Karen, Dave, Katie, or Robert, if anyone would like to share. Okay. And Karen,
Okay, you finally unmuted me. I couldn't talk. Karen and I haven't seen each other for a long time. We were the only people in the room. So we saw
Well,
the
Katie was there too, but she didn't have a microphone or a camera, so she communicated with us in the chat. But I think when Dave would probably say this too, I want to congratulate groups 1 and 2 for staying on topic. Dave and I talked about a whole bunch of different kinds of things in relation to the topic. The only thing that I mentioned was that our group out here in Santa Cruz, it's part of one of our symposiums out here, is the one we had in 2019. We did have a breakout group devoted exclusively to intimacy and Parkinson's disease, and that was very successful. And the other thing that was very successful is in February, we had some of our care partners, mostly female, and that might be true in other groups too, talk very openly about the relationships with their partners, and they did touch on, intimacy. And I was really surprised at how open they could be about talking about those things, and it made it more comfortable for everybody else, realizing, well, if they can talk about it, we can too. But we rapidly transgressed, didn't we, Dave? We talked about the frustrations of reaching out to the Spanish-speaking population. We both have fairly large Spanish-speaking populations in our area. We've made some progress in that area, until we realized that we could get a program up and going, but unless we had a bilingual program who could take it over and keep it running, it would not be successful. So we're still working on that. And then Dave talked about a little bit about the frustration of growing his group. He said it varies so much in size, from a few people to, close to 30 people. And he has a place to meet. He was thrown out of his previous place a couple of years ago for being too political, because you were supporting a bill, right, favoring, more funding for Parkinson's, I think. So he has a place. Now he's looking for people. So we talked about that too. And then we talked about the Parkinson's Path, the new book by Dorsey and Oken, and the frustration of dealing with. We both live in areas where pesticides are still widely used. And Dave mentioned something very interesting, that in Pennsylvania, the state is putting together a bill to ban paraquat in that state. And it'd be interesting to know whether other states have considered that. We know that that's a major contributor to Parkinson's disease, which was unknown a couple hundred years ago. This is a new phenomenon, Parkinson's disease, and basically we're not doing enough. The emphasis in I think that the two books that Ray Dorsey has been involved in have been mostly on prevention. But the frustration is all the people on the screen here and all the people we work with already have Parkinson's, or they know somebody with Parkinson's, and they're ready to, well, what could we do to make our lives maintain and improve the quality of our lives? You know, the prevention is important, but once you have it, you're looking for information about how to make things better. And the other thing that Dave mentioned also, he says, I'm looking for change, not for me, but for my grandchildren. And one of the things I mentioned to him was that a guide on one of our tours in Europe said that there's a difference between a statesman and a politician. A politician is concerned about the next election. A statesman is concerned about the next generation. And that was such an important statement to me that I incorporated into my Christmas letter that year. And as I said to Dave, we have too many politicians and not enough statesmen in government these days. So the things that need to be done aren't getting done. It's frustrating.
I didn't mention that I suggested to a couple that they strip and get in bed together and talk to each other. And they come back and said that they learned some things that they were ignoring, and they were hopefully kinder to each other from there on.
Well, thank you so much, Karen and Dave, for sharing what you discussed in Europe.
We had a good time.
Yeah.
Yes, it sounds like. Well, I'm glad the two of you, well, the four of you were all able to discuss. And so as we begin to wrap up today's session, hopefully everyone has taken away several things from this presentation and empowered you to go back and share with your groups and add on to some of the discussions that you've already been having. I would like to give a brief moment to Judith here. If she'd like to share anything as we close out. And
I
Judith?
think we're frozen. Yes. I don't know if that's me or you. I do just please go to www.anyonecanmove.com, contact -us to learn more about date night and intimacy.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Judith, Dr. Rees, and Robert for speaking today and sharing about this program. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your Monday. Thank you so much for tuning in.